Italian sports car, luxury yacht, more than $1 million spent on fine dining. Life's very good for Democrat Joe Manchin. While West Virginians get stuck with higher prices, smaller paychecks, and open borders. Democrat Joe Manchin and his Washington pals are living it up, and West Virginians are getting left in the dust. Tell Maserati Manchin it's time to stand up for West Virginia values.
This is nitpicking or whatever, but like if you're trying to appeal to being like a regular guy for West Virginia, why are you pronouncing Maserati like that? Like you're trying to pretend that you're the everyman, dear announcer. That seemed a little bit weird. Anyway, Joe Manchin being attacked, I don't have a big problem with that. It is interesting though that is not, an ad from like a progressive challenger or something like that. That's the Republicans attacking him. Because despite the amount of work he does on a daily, weekly, yearly basis to help out the right wing, they still want to replace him with a Republican. Never forget that. And so they're pointing out that West Virginia obviously beset by open borders, which are close to West Virginia or something. But anyway, it is a good point. He has a Maserati, he has a yacht, he is rich. He has personally enriched himself in a number of different ways. And so good to point that out. I do think though, Miranda, it seems a little bit weird to be like, look at this guy with his fancy car and he's got all this stuff. Get rid of him and bring back Trump. Bring a multi-billionaire back here who we love because of his gold toilet and all of the gold rooms he inhabits and all that. I feel like you could be consistent about whether being ostentatiously wealthy is a good thing or not. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's wild that to make an ad like that, you're a rich person screaming from your own Maserati at that guy in his Maserati, and you're like, doesn't he suck? Look at all the money he has as your money is flying out the window as you drive by. And the scary thing is that actually kind of works on some people when it's really quite obvious that it's just two rich people shouting for your vote so that they can become more rich. Yeah, I think it's hilarious that they're really ragging on him for having money when it's coming from the people who have money and want to reinstate multi-millionaires, multi-billionaires back into the government.
Yeah, 100%. And by the way, I want to give credit to someone in the audience. JFM EHL 81 says, well, first of all, you get a Blue Apron gift card because you reminded me of something that I wanted to say and then I forgot. So JFM, send in rewards@tyt.com, first name, last name, and your handle, and they'll get it to you. The comment is, I didn't hear anything about his effing coal mine, which is a great point. And it's a reminder that you got to remember, like they want to viciously attack their enemies, but sometimes there are great ways that they can attack their enemies, but they can't because they're the same thing in that area. So pointing out the fact that he's helping to influence what our energy policy is gonna be, our climate policy, while he's owning an effing coal mine is a devastating attack. But they love the fossil fuel industry, so they can't actually talk about that. They can't talk about the fact that he has ruined Biden's agenda because they want Biden's agenda to be ruined. So there's all these avenues of attack that could be devastating, but they like those things. And it's inconvenient to point out that while they're attacking Joe Manchin and they would be happy to replace him, he's also like their best bud. And look, I don't feel like I should have to make that case. He's regularly making it himself. He just met with Speaker Kevin McCarthy to urge Kevin McCarthy to negotiate with President Biden on legislation to raise the debt limit. That may seem like, oh good, he's playing hardball. He's telling the new Republican speaker, you gotta negotiate with Biden. But in theory, the Democrats could push forward with solutions on their own. This isn't about convincing McCarthy to give in. He's trying to convince the Democrats to give in. And to his credit, he's being at least a little bit tricky about how he wants it to be done. So there's news going around today, by the way, that he believes that one way we can help to deal with some of our debt issues is by raising the cap on the payroll tax that contributes to Social Security, which I think is actually a great thing to do. And if that was the only change that Joe Manchin was pushing for, then huzzah, that's amazing, let's push forward. But that is not the only change that he wants. He wants to cut benefits for people in the future who are gonna be getting Social Security. He wants to raise the age that you can start to get those benefits. And so there's a lot of powerful people in media are doing PR for him, basically, not pointing out those other aspects of the plan, making him seem like the reasonable guy who's trying to get a deal when he's one of the only people that is pushing for a deal to need to be made with these people. The Democrats, in theory, could deal with this. He doesn't want them to do that. He wants the Republicans who are willing to explode the world economy so they can get whatever BS cuts to Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid that they want. He's the guy that's pushing for that. And again, great thing to point out, I think, as an attack against him, but not the sort of thing that the National Republican Senate Committee can actually do because they like those things. Miranda?
Yeah, I think it's funny because those are fantastic attacks, and that's probably why the ad is so bad, because they had such a limited range of attacks to choose from. And so they just had to go with, whatever. They're like, oh, we could point out no, we have that too. Oh, we could point out he made a deal with, oh, no, wait, we have a deal with them too. And so there's like so many barriers when it comes to attacking someone, a Democrat who's basically just another Republican and is, you're right, best buds with you. And whenever it seems like Manchin is doing something that's like a solid fight for the people or a really good move, there's something underneath it. You have to look deeper, because whenever it's Joe Manchin, he feels so slimy to me. And so I feel like you always have to check under the hood and see, okay, why are you actually asking for that? Why are you, okay, it looks like you're playing hardball. What are you actually looking for? Because I know that's not what you're actually doing. You don't actually fight for the people, you just like money.